Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are exploring a really transformative journey. We're talking about making Aliyah immigrating to Israel, but also trying to hold on to your global career at the same time.
It's a massive, massive undertaking. You're dealing with so much personal change, a new home, a new culture.
A new language.
Exactly. And, underneath all of that is this immediate, very real puzzle of financial and legal compliance.
Right. So the question we're really tackling today is, how do you keep working for your overseas employer, that tech company in the U.S., that consultancy in Europe, from your new apartment in Tel Aviv, without, breaking a bunch of international laws?
And for this deep dive, we're focusing specifically on a resource we found from CWS Israel called Olim First Steps. It's basically designed to be a solution for this exact transition.
So our mission here is to really analyze how this structure works. I'm going to get into the nuts and bolts of compliance, tax treaties, all of it, so that you can understand how to actually thrive here professionally without just drowning in paperwork.
Well, the problem it addresses is so critical. A foreign company, it can't just keep paying an Israeli resident into their U.S. bank account. There's huge legal and tax liability there.
Right.
An OLA, a new immigrant, needs local health insurance, a pension, correct tax registration, and that's a headache a foreign HR department just isn't equipped to handle.
And to be clear on the scope here, the sources show this program is very focused. We're talking about new Olim, so within their first 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Remote workers, tech professionals, and this is key foreign employers who want to hire talent in Israel but have absolutely no interest in setting up a whole local company.
Okay, so let's get into the structure. The material says this is more than just a payroll solution. It acts as an employer of record, or an EOR. For anyone who isn't familiar with that term, what exactly is an EOR and why is it so fundamental here?
So think of the EOR as a legal middleman. It's an Israeli company that formally employs you, the worker, under local law. It registers you with all the authorities and manages all the compliance.
But you still report to your boss back in the U.S.
Exactly. You're still part of the overseas team, but legally, you're an Israeli employee. This gets you an instant, hassle-free legal employment contract, local payroll, and full tax compliance from day one.
So that's how you get access to all the Israeli employment rights.
Precisely. And that's vital because it immediately hooks you into two cornerstones of Israeli life: quality health insurance and a mandatory pension.
Which, if you're a new immigrant trying to figure that out on your own...
It's incredibly overwhelming. The EOR handles the mandatory Bitwash Lumi, and we'll dig into that later, and the pension setup right away. It's just done.
So that transfer of liability seems to be the main selling point. It's not just about getting paid.
It's outsourced peace of mind, really.
Yeah.
They also provide ongoing HR support, which is critical because Israeli labor laws can and do change, so they're always checking for compliance.
And on a practical note, I saw they offer multilingual support: English, Russian, Arabic. When you're dealing with legal documents in a language you're just learning, that feels like a huge relief.
It removes what we call the language friction point. It's just one less thing to worry about.
Okay, let's pivot to the economics of it. For the new immigrant, what are the tangible financial breaks detailed in the sources? What makes this easier on the wallet?
The incentives are really geared towards that critical first year. They offer a pretty significant 25% discount on all their services.
For the whole first year.
For the whole first year. And on top of that, they waive all the onboarding and registration fees, so your entry cost is basically zero.
That's a big deal when you're already spending so much on the move itself.
It is. And beyond that, there's flexibility. The EOR can manage full-time, part-time, even freelance-style structures under this compliant umbrella.
And it looks like they pair that flexibility with human support.
Exactly. You get a dedicated Olim support manager who understands the unique issues like navigating the Bitwatch Lumi office for the first time. And logistically, they handle global payroll transfers so you can get paid in shekels or your home currency. It's seamless.
Now, what about the other side of this? The international employer. Why would a U.S. company pay a fee for this instead of just trying to figure it out themselves?
Well, yes, there's a service fee, but what they're buying is massive risk mitigation. The EOR is their entire local infrastructure.
A turnkey hiring solution.
That's a great way to put it. The most crucial part is that the employer can legally hire talent in Israel without setting up a local entity. That would cost tens of thousands of dollars and months of work. The EOR just handles it all.
Okay, so this is where we get at the really complex stuff. Let's do a deep dive on the specific compliance hurdles, especially for U.S. citizens. We have to start with the U.S. tax challenge.
Right, we're talking about double taxation. The U.S. taxes its citizens on their worldwide income no matter where they live. So, a U.S. citizen in Tel Aviv is technically subject to tax in both countries.
Which sounds absolutely crippling.
It does, but the good news is there's a tax treaty between the U.S. and Israel designed to prevent that. It works through things like foreign tax credits or the foreign earned income exclusion, the FEIE.
Can you just quickly explain what that exclusion does?
Sure, the FEIE lets you exclude a large chunk of your foreign income from U.S. taxes as long as you meet certain residency tests. But the bottom line is you have to file in both countries every year, an Israeli return and a U.S. return.
Okay, now let's move to something even more critical for long-term planning. U.S. Social Security versus Israeli national insurance.
This is a huge one, and the most important fact is this. The U.S. and Israel do not have what's called a totalization agreement.
Okay, stop there. What does the absence of that agreement actually mean for someone planning their retirement?
It means that the contributions you make in one country generally don't count towards your benefits in the other. So if you work 20 years in the U.S. and then 20 years in Israel, those Israeli contributions won't help you qualify for U.S. Social Security.
Wow. That forces you to be really strategic with your savings.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you work through an EOR, you're contributing to Bituach Leumi, which is Israel's national insurance. It's the foundation of the whole social safety net here.
And what does Bituach Leumi actually fund?
It's mandatory for all residents. It covers health, unemployment, maternity leave, and your state pension. And critically, your contributions are what make you eligible for health care through the Kupat Holam, the health funds. If you don't register, you could have a major gap in medical coverage.
Okay, beyond national insurance, what other mandatory benefits kick in once you have an Israeli contract?
First is the mandatory pension. Both you and your employer have to contribute. It usually starts after 3 months, but then it's paid retroactively to your start date.
Leave.
You get statutory leave, so annual leave, which starts around 12 to 14 days, sick leave. And then there's a really unique benefit called recuperation pay, or Demai Havra.
Demai Havra, I've never heard of that. What is it?
It's unique to Israeli law. It's an annual payment you get after your first year of work, and it's meant to subsidize rest and vacation. It's totally separate from your vacation days. It's basically a mandatory vacation bonus.
That's amazing, and exactly the kind of thing a foreign employer would completely miss.
For sure. That's where the local expertise is so key.
But what if someone decides to go it alone? What are the other paths, and what are the big mistakes people make?
Well, the main paths are being an employee through an EOR or becoming a freelancer, an atzmai. The biggest risks come when you try to just get paid directly from your foreign employer with no local setup.
So if I'm a developer in Tel Aviv and my U.S. job is just wiring money to my old Bank of America account, I'm in a risky spot.
A very risky spot. The big pitfalls are not reporting that foreign income to the Israeli tax authorities, and of course, failing to register for and pay Bituach Leumi on time, which, again, messes with your health coverage.
Right. What about for the freelancers, the atzmaim? What do they have to do to stay compliant?
For them, the administrative burden is all on their shoulders. The dues are non-negotiable. You have to register with 3 different offices: income tax, national insurance, and VAT.
And I assume you need an accountant.
Oh, absolutely. You have to keep meticulous receipts and set aside money every month for your taxes. And the critical don'ts.
Let's hear them.
Don't work without issuing proper invoices. Don't assume your home country's tax rules apply. And, crucially, don't forget to contribute to a pension. It's mandatory even when you're self-employed here.
So this deep dive really shows that continuing a global career in Israel is, well, it's a sophisticated challenge. You have to navigate tax treaties, Social Security, all these unique benefits. The EOR model really seems to function as a way to simplify all that complexity.
The goal is a smooth, compliant transition. You want to focus your energy on your new life and your job, not on worrying about a bill from Bituach Leumi.
That certainty is the real value. And that brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. Considering that there is no U.S.-Israel totalization agreement, how should an OLE, especially one planning to live in Israel, long-term structure their financial planning to maximize both Bituach Leumi benefits and any potential U.S. Social Security they've accrued, knowing that contributions to one may not count toward the other? What stands out to you as the ultimate retirement hedge? We'll leave that thought with you.